Howdy. I think I have to talk about mountain water, wide rivers, glaciers, cryptodomes, crypto geysers, and quakes. Maybe quakes not so much, but at least mountains. And also water. If you don't know really what I'm talking about, you can check out my playlist about this theme. So now let's go to the first of the two things I thought I gotta show you. The first thing is about the Alps, about the mountain which came down and caused devastation. Now let's just have a look at this first. That's Deutsche Welle. Deutsche Welle in English. It's a news channel. They're talking about all kinds of things. And that's one of the documentaries I have been watching recently. And I noticed some interesting things. But now let's have a look at this first.
The alpine idyll is literally crumbling. And the repercussions are something that residents are well aware of in the village of Bondo in southeast Switzerland. For Elvira Zales, it's time to say goodbye to the house she's lived in her entire life. Today, it's being demolished.
When I look at my house, while it's gradually dying, it does make me feel sad, but we're prepared for it.
In the summer of 2017, a massive landslide starting on the Piz Cengalo mountain brought 3 million cubic meters of rock crashing down into the valley.
So, I want to go back because I wanted to point out two things.
When I look at my house, while it's gradually dying, it does make
Yeah,
me
obviously
feel
my
sad,
videos are not
but
edited,
we're prepared for it.
so bear with me.
In the summer of 2017, a massive landslide starting on the Piz Cengalo.
They are talking about the landslide. Yeah, it's massive. And I want to point out that there doesn't seem to be any ice or any snow or any rain when this happened. There is blue sky. The mountain is basically dry. I don't see any ice or whatsoever. This seems to be bone dry rock. But this is just my opinion. And let's go on a little bit, a few seconds.
Mountain brought
And now here in the valley, we have water. And this looks to me, this whole riverbed looks like a white river. I have been talking about white rivers very much. So from a bone dry mountain where we had a rock slide, there's water coming. And now let's just listen what the woman is going to say.
3 million cubic meters of rock crashing down into the valley.
I suddenly heard this huge noise, and as I looked up to the mountain, I saw these big chunks of rock falling down. It looked like lava because it was so slow and silent. Ice, water, and soil.
Yeah. I've been proposing that every glacier carrying mountain is basically a volcano. It just erupts in a different way. There's probably not lava coming out of there, it's just water. And glaciers are lava streams made of water. And this is not the first time I hear someone who lives in the Alps saying the word lava. Yeah. Back in the days, maybe, when it was colder, there has been glaciers on top of that mountain or at the slopes of the mountain. And I don't know if there's any well or something in the vicinity where that landslide happened. But first we just have tumbling rocks, then we have the water, and then we have someone who says the word lava.
Mountain, I saw these big chunks of rock falling down. It looked like lava because it was so slow and silent. Ice, water, and soil.
I will put a link below to this documentary. I recommend you to watch it. I also recommend you to think for yourself while watching it, because yeah, it's very interesting if you have your own thoughts while watching this documentary, because there are so many interesting things. I could make many videos just about this documentary. But now let's go over to the other thing. This has been, I think, in 2017 in the Swiss Alps. And that's news from today. Massive rockfall makes hikers tremble. Wutachtal, Switzerland. Schwyz. This is very close to the place where the whole Switzerland was founded once, back in the days. Was it the year 1291 or something? Anyway, half of a mountain broke off in the Bisistal in the municipality of Wutachtal, Schwyz, on Sunday. Almost 500,000 cubic meters of rock thundered down into the valley like an avalanche. Yeah, we will check out the video. I don't know how it works. Here you can see the rock fall from the Marenspitz. Yeah, we have to check that out. Marenspitz. That's what's about. On Sunday afternoon, around 450,000 cubic meters of rock in the Bisistal in the Gwalpetenfirnerloch. No, Gwalpetenfirnerloch. Firn, I think it's a Swiss German word for peak. Hiking area thundered into the valley. The Alpine hiking trail had been closed since June and the rock was under surveillance. More rock falls are likely to follow. The municipality says there is also likelihood of debris flows. In other words, there could be water involved in that. And not only rainwater, as you just have seen in the other documentary. Later on Sunday afternoon, 3 massive rock pillars broke off in the Gwalpeten area in the Bisistal in the canton of Schwyz and thundered into the meadows of an Alp. This was reported by the Bote der Urschweiz. Videos from readers show how impressive the rockfall was. Yeah, I'm not in reading mode today, obviously. The boulders broke away one after the other and fell down in a huge cloud of dust. After that, half of the mountain was gone. So since I'm not in reading mode, it doesn't really work to read anything. Maybe we just should watch the video. It's probably the easiest for all of us. Yeah, it doesn't work. Just give me a second. Now, finally, let's get on with the noise. That looks really impressive. And obviously that has happened before, as you can see there. There's already debris, probably from elder rock falls. I don't know.
It's runter. Great.
Yeah, they're shivering. Yeah, I bet they were feeling very. I bet they were feeling very small. Yeah, that's an impressive rockfall. And the thing is, they're saying that the Alps crumble because the permafrost is receding. So the ice which kept the mountains together is melting and they start to fall apart. This could also mean that some old water veins, which probably would still be more or less intact but just got filled up with debris over thousands of years, they could be opened once again. There is probably, or possibly, a way for the water again to flow. And it doesn't seem to rain at all. There doesn't seem to be any snow or ice. So now we have two rock slides in the Alps. Here we don't have any debris flow, which would involve water, but in the other one we had. But in both videos, there's a rockfall going on under blue skies. No glacier and no snow on top of the mountain. Yeah, let's see. This obviously seems to be ongoing. And there are at least two other places in Switzerland where they are still expecting something bigger to happen. I have been reporting about these. There's nothing going on really to mention. There's just every now and then something little happens, but yeah. Mountain water. And if you think that these mountains are trembling without experiencing any bigger earthquake, because they would probably have been talking about it. Yeah, there was a 5.6 or something at the mountain, an earthquake, and it just crumbled down. No, there wasn't any. Maybe the rockfall itself got registered somewhere as an earthquake. But as far as I know, they just started to crumble without any earthquake activity which would have triggered the whole thing. So no earthquake, no snow or ice on top of the mountain, no rainfall because there is blue sky. And in the other case, we had a debris flow which involved water. Where did the water come from? Yeah, the water comes out of the mountains. Everybody knows that. Yeah, maybe it's the water pushing. And or the water gets now new pathways to come forth out of the mountain. And this could explain the debris flow and the white rivers to some extent. But anyway, I think I leave it here. I try to get a paper together as soon as possible. At the moment, I'm in a stage of taking in other words, making research. I got it to some point. There's still so much work to do. There are so many things I would like to take in, and sometimes I start to write about something and then I start to make research about something and then I find 10 other very interesting things, and in a way I get distracted despite knowing that they're all belong together. Whatever theme basically you are looking at, is it the heart of humans, which is not a pump? If it would be a pump, we would be like, if you would cut your finger, you would just probably explode like a balloon. Because there would be so much pressure inside you. So the heart cannot be a pump. Yeah, and I'm writing about geology, or trying to write about geology, taking in many other things, and I try to explain how they do relate, how they interconnect, and yeah. But I try to get some work done. I don't know if you can call it work. Many probably would call it work, but I really want to do it. So it's probably not work. But anyway, there's action going on in the Swiss Alps. And I just expect more and more and more of these kind of things going on. And of course, despite not making very often videos recently, I'm looking at things. But obviously, it's not time for making videos. What to do? Yeah, stay safe wherever you are. Keep an eye on the weather forecast. And probably it would be good to know for you where are some elevated spots in order to get to safety if there's huge amounts of water coming or whatsoever. And it might be a good thing to realize in what kind of hazard region you're living in. What's the biggest or the most possible hazard which could happen? And if you have some little preparations in case it happens, if it's an earthquake, hurricane, or whatsoever, probably you need slightly different things. But there's just a few basic things which you should somehow have more or less prepared in case you need to really prepare. Makes things easier. And be aware of your environment, what's going on. Look to the sky, watch the clouds, for example. But anyway, thanks. Bye.